Okay, today I'm going to do a video on setting your bow up for the upcoming bow season. You know, in the old days when I first started bow hunting, they didn't have these outdoor channels and all these hunting shows and programs, you know, to kind of help give people some information on hunting. You basically had to go out and learn the hard way through the school of hard knocks. You know, a lot of guys gun hunted back then, but bow hunting was relatively new in those days. So, you know, over the years of trial and error, I have learned some different things that I do as far as having my bow set up for hunting whitetail deer in this area. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the bow itself right here, and you want to make sure that you got a decent bow. Don't go out and pick you up some piece of junk from a pawn shop. You go out and go to somebody that can actually fit the bow to you. You have a draw length on your arms and stuff, and it's important to have that draw length accurate, because you go to a pawn shop and say, oh, well, I like this bow and I can get it for 50 bucks. That's okay, but you know, you may be shooting a bow and you might not be able to get a full extension on it. So, you know, it's kind of like golf clubs or a pair of shoes. Your bow has to be fitted, and it's got to be fitted by somebody that actually knows how to fit it to your specific needs. Okay. Arrow rests. A lot of guys have different kind of arrow rests. When I'm hunting, I like to have an arrow rest that will hold my arrow securely while it's on the tree, because sometimes you'll have a little thing in the way or something, and you can't afford for your arrow to be popping off your rest when you've got a monster underneath you. So I've been using this whisker biscuit, and when I first saw these, I was somewhat skeptical of them, because I was thinking, this will drag on the fletchings and you know, it's not going to shoot straight. But I ended up having one put on. I took the advice of my bow guy that I had do my work for me, and you know, I tried it, and I still keep them on my bows. They work out and they do a pretty good job, so I stay with the whisker biscuit. But regardless of whatever you do, make sure that you have one that will hold your arrow securely. Okay. Your sight, you have to have a type of a lighting device to light your pin up. I don't have one on here right now. I've got it on another bow, but if I was going to take this bow out this evening hunting, I would make sure that I had my light on there, because deer move either at night, right before dark, or before the sun comes up. I mean, sometimes you get them in the daytime, but that's generally during the rut. And they're kind of a nocturnal animal. And so well, make sure that you have some type of a light on there. The peep, you want to make sure that you have a large peep. When you're hunting in the woods, you've got to be able to see your target below you. And you know, if you're shooting a little bitty peephole and you're down here and you're trying to see it, it doesn't work too good. Little peeps are good if you're doing some competition shooting and you're shooting at a target for accuracy on a range. But when you're out hunting, like I said, a lot of times you're shooting with very little light, and you have to be able to see. Make sure that if you're hunting, get a big peephole, because if you don't, you are setting yourself up for a big letdown. Let's see, what else? Your arrows. Now, I know that arrows can be quite expensive, but you're better off buying fewer arrows that are good ones instead of more arrows that aren't very good. On the side of the arrow here, it will tell the straightness. It'll be plus or minus. This particular arrow here is plus and minus 0.001. This arrow is a Pro Hunter, and it's very straight. I recommend that you don't go above 0.004, because you know, if you start getting arrows that aren't that straight, you start getting wobble in flight, and it's just not a good deal. So make sure that you shoot a good arrow. That makes a big difference. When you shoot your arrow, make sure that when you pull back, that you have an anchor point that you stay with. A lot of guys will put a sucker button on their string, and when they pull back, that button will be here on the corner of their lip. I don't use the sucker button. What I do is I find a characteristic with the bow. I'll either pull back and I'll have my fletching here, or maybe the string itself, I'll pull it back right and put it right on the tip of my nose. But every time that I pull back, I'm consistently putting my hand and anchoring it in the same fashion, because if you don't, your accuracy will be off. So anyway, take these tips, these few tips that I've given you as far as getting your bow set up, and I'll have some more tips coming up in the near future, and hopefully I can help you guys get out and harvest you more deer in this upcoming season. I'll see you on my next video. Have a good one.